This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast, bringing you current events, news, NFL, NBA, MLB, soccer, UFC, boxing, and more. Make sure to hit us up on the website, thesportshound.com. And now, here's your host, Tigsta.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast. Yes, we're going to get into this 2019 NBA free agency that's upon us in about another 3 hours. It's about to kick off, but we have a lot of rumors floating around of what players are going where. We're going to talk about the salaries. We're going to talk about the fit and so forth with these teams going ahead and getting these free agents. Let's start off with first rumor that I'm hearing out there and that they saying is almost guaranteed as soon as it opens up free agency that they're going to agree to a deal is Kemba Walker. Looks like he will be leaving the Charlotte Hornets and will be donning the green of the Boston Celtics next season. The rumor is believed to be a max deal with him going there. With that happening, you have Kyrie Irving, who was this past season formerly of Boston, the Boston Celtics, and now currently a free agent. The rumor of him is going to the New Jersey Nets. The Nets have obtained the right still with offering the player option or the team option, I guess, or for D'Angelo Russell. The rumors is with Russell. See, notice this domino effect. One player goes here, this player goes there, then it affects one and the other. So let's get into this domino thing with D'Angelo Russell. The rumors of Russell. You have the Lakers who are interested in having a return of him going there. But you also have the Minnesota Timberwolves, who's also interested in bringing in D'Angelo Russell as well at the point. With that being said, the New Jersey Nets say that they're interested in doing a sign and trade with Russell to the team of his choice if they can work something out. If they sign Kyrie Irving, which that looks like it's almost a done deal, but don't rule anything out. They both teams still going to talk today as soon as it opens up in about 3 hours, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And if they can come to some kind of agreement and get a verbal agreement of signing, then they'll go ahead and search for a sign and trade deal for D'Angelo Russell, which it could be the Lakers. But the thing is, with the Lakers, the only thing I can see is other draft picks that they did not give up when they got AD, Anthony Davis from the Pelicans. They gave up a lot. They gave up 3 more. They included the Washington Wizards actually into a 3-team deal to go ahead and clear more cap space. So now the Lakers have another max slot for a max player, freeing up, I think, about their salary now is about $32 million they have freed up. Also, Anthony Davis declined the $4 million trade kicker in the deal with him going to the Lakers, so that added more money. With the Lakers adding 3 more players going to the Washington Wizards to free up the space. So now we get into the nitty gritty. We have what is rumored that Klay Thompson, which is probably more than a rumor, which it is most likely a rumor, but it is going to happen. It looks like Klay Thompson will sign the max deal with the Golden State Warriors, which he will get more money doing it that way than him going seeking another deal elsewhere. The rumor was if the Warriors did not offer him the max, that he would seek out to talk to either the Lakers or the Clippers, which is understandable. His father is the play-by-play announcer for the Lakers, so it'll be like almost a homecoming type situation. But I see he's going to stay with the Warriors. As far as the Warriors aspects, I see them keeping him. Durant is another story. They say Curry is flying to New York to talk to Durant to try to get him to come back to the Warriors, but what I'm hearing is that Durant has 4 teams that he has factored in as possibilities, with the Warriors being one off top, but you also have the Clippers being one, the Nets, and the Knicks.
You want sports? We got it right here. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast.
From what I've heard through the media and so forth is that he wants to go to the Knicks. With him and Kyrie discussing teaming up before, I think that he wanted Kyrie to go to the Knicks with him. but Kyrie wanted Durant to go to the Nets with him. So, it's a New York thing, but two different teams, and one wants to go here, the other wants to go there. So we see what's going to unfold with that, because Durant did include the Nets as an option. Also, with the Clippers, the rumor with this one is it looks like Kawhi Leonard is going to leave Toronto, even though they say it's still an option of him staying there with the Toronto Raptors after winning the championship. But him being from Southern Cal, the Clippers is a nice destination that him and Durant discussed as far as going to the Clippers and playing together there. So, with the Clippers having two max spots open, or they can maneuver around and make it open if it's not already there, that would be intriguing also, to be able to have a Clippers team that features Durant and Kawhi Leonard, and then you have Lakers in the same city with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. We know that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are looking for Kawhi Leonard to come there. It looks like it's obvious they wanted Kyrie Irving, I heard, but with Kyrie going to the Nets, that's going to eliminate that. Russell could come in there, D'Angelo Russell, but he's not going to absorb that full 32 cap hit. Especially if the Nets can work a sign and trade. It all depends on the numbers that's going to be moved around and what he's going to be offered and the years, and then what the Lakers could give up unless they bring in another third team to work out some kind of deal to get D'Angelo Russell back with the Lakers. I think that'll be a solid move to get he's starting to develop. He went to the Nets, became an all-star, led the team. He's starting to mature into a decent point guard. I remember Lakers giving up on him due to them bringing in Lonzo Ball, but with Ball being sent to the Pelicans in the AD trade, that opened up that spot at point. Currently now, the Lakers only have 3 players under contract, which is LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kuzma. They did not give Kuzma up in the deal. They refused to do it, which was a good thing to do, because Kuzma's upside his ceiling is way up there. So I don't think he even scratched the surface of his potential. So the Lakers, in essence, basically how I see it is they're trying to duplicate exactly how LeBron did it with Miami, by stripping it down, getting your main stars, and then building around them all in one season. Now there might be some fine tuning over the time of the season, because you're gonna have players that's gonna either get bought out, released, and so forth, so you can add to it. Lakers possibly can go out there and fill out the rest of the roster with low salary type players. You have Carmelo Anthony you can grab. You can still bring back Rondo. Possibility of looking at even Cousins from the Warriors. I heard that he could be on his way out, looking for a deal elsewhere. But the Lakers, I heard, was one of the teams that was out there mentioned with his name. Lakers can also go out there, and I heard they're being attached to Seth Curry from the Blazers, who's a free agent as well. Since they do need shooting, Curry would be a nice little fit for them coming off the bench. Enes Kanter, also with the Blazers, that's a free agent, is also a name that the Lakers have been attached to, as well as the Blazers trying to re-sign him. Then you have, we're going to go through all these rumors now, you guys, because it's a lot. You have the rumor of, I ain't going to say it's a rumor, but what is stated is that Kevon Looney from the Warriors is expected to go talk to the Houston Rockets when free agency opens up. Then you have, there's a lot of stuff. You got Jimmy Butler, who is interested in going to the Clippers. The Clippers is talking about teaming him up with Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers. But then again, Jimmy Butler is also interested in Miami, because he said he was impressed the way the organization was ran, especially when they seen Dwayne Wade going on his goodbye tour this past season. He liked the way that they were involved with that, and also, just like a family type environment with Pat Riley over there. So he's intrigued with going to South Beach, so that's a possibility that Jimmy Butler can do that. He's supposed to go back and talk to the Sixers and explore maybe sign and trade type deals. The Houston Rockets name also been brought up for Jimmy Butler going there, maybe in a sign and trade. Maybe you send Chris Paul in a deal and send him to the Sixers and send Jimmy Butler to Houston, which to me would suit both teams perfectly. I can see a Chris Paul in a starting role at point guard with that Sixers teams with those damn young weapons that he would have around him with Ben Simmons and so forth. So that'll fit that in. As far as Houston goes, the way D'Antoni likes to run his offense, I think Butler and Harden would be a good complement for each other. And plus, those two are, close, good friends, and they've been talking about playing with each other as well. So that's not, a possibility there as well. Other rumors you have, I heard on a smaller scale, you got the veteran power forward Taj Gibson is attached to. I heard the Portland Trailblazers are interested in bringing him in. Of course, they have their own free agencies with the Blazers, with Aminu being a free agent. And also, I think Jake Layman, which since they own the bird rights of those, they can resign those two players over the salary cap and not take a hit. So that's a lot of things teams are doing that's up against the cap, is trying to take care of their spots that's open on the roster with their own free agents, because they're allowed to do so and not take a hit. Let's see, what other names are out there? Man, it's just so much just out there just flowing, and it's just interesting to see. It's like the real basketball housewives of free agency, you know what I mean? So it's getting intense. The rumors is out there floating. All it takes is for one player to go to one team, and then all of a sudden the dominoes start falling, and these teams is getting this player and that player. But hopefully they all get fits. But so far, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like good fits out there for these players. But there's other like second tier type free agents that, don't get me wrong, can go into an organization and help them, whether it's just a role player or coming in off the bench, because we see a good bench on a championship run is very, very important. We've seen that with the Toronto Raptors. We've seen that with the Portland Trailblazers. You have injuries, even the Warriors. When injuries hit you, you got to have the next man step up and just keep that machine going. So it's very, very important for a team that's on a run to go ahead and have a deep bench where they can draw, personnel from to go ahead and fill in the void that injuries or whatever has happened. So don't overlook those. Those role players is very important. Another name I've heard is JaVale McGee. If I'm correct, I think JaVale McGee was also looking at the Houston Rockets, I think. The Rockets also, the rumor is that Capella, they might have a deal with sending Capella out depending on who they can bring in if they need to free up some money. And I'm thinking Jimmy Butler is, one of the reasons why they would move Capella if they bring Jimmy Butler in, because the numbers is going to have to match up. But I don't know what team that they are insinuating as far as they might have a deal already in the works or on the table, if that comes that far for them to have to do that. So that's another interesting point that you have to pay attention to.
You want sports? We got it right here. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast.
The rumor of Derrick Rose is going to the Pistons. They say that deal is, they both want to sign with each other. Another one wants to sign them. That'll be a nice little fit too. But like I said, these are all rumors. Anything can change. I remember years ago, or a couple of years ago, it was DeAndre Jordan, and I got a tidbit on DeAndre Jordan as well. But let me finish this point, where DeAndre Jordan had a verbal agreement to sign with the Dallas Mavericks during this period that we're getting ready to go into in about 3 hours, free agency. He had a verbal agreement because they can't sign until later in the first week of July anyway. I think they got to the 6th where they can actually put, pen to paper and sign their name off on the contract and whatnot. But DeAndre Jordan had a verbal agreement with the Dallas Mavericks to sign 1 year, and he turned around and at the last moment, he reneged on it and signed with the Clippers. He went back to the Clippers. But all in all, he ended up going back I think was last season. He ended up going to Dallas, and Dallas ended up trading him away to another team. But he's a free agent also. Now here's the tidbit on DeAndre Jordan. The other rumor of DeAndre Jordan is that the Lakers are interested in bringing him there too. See, that's what I mean about like they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can go ahead and strip your roster down because like I said, we seen the Miami Heat do it when they brought in Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. They stripped it all down and then they built around those guys. The Lakers are doing the same thing with the same formula. They stripped it down. They got Kuzma, LeBron, and they got AD, and now they're going to build around it. All you need is good, solid pieces. When you got three main people like that, you have your future and you have your present as your main focal point on your starting five. You need to fill out the rest of the roster with type of players that you need, from shooters to defense to whatnot. So DeAndre Jordan being a good defender in the paint, I can just imagine he might not be a starter, but he could be. Because if you put him at the 5, you can go ahead and keep AD at the 4, keep LeBron at the small forward. You might want to even experiment and put Kuzma at the 2. You know what I mean? Yeah, put him at the 2. Put him at a 2 guard. I mean, you can have a big 2 guard, because we see Klay Thompson at 6'7" is running the 2. You know what I mean? And Kuzma with the ball in his hand could do a lot too, but we know the ball is pretty much going to stay in LeBron's hand depending on what point guard they can bring in. I think a good point guard for them to bring in at a low salary. If it's not D'Angelo Russell, you bring Rondo back. Rondo is good for having talent around him. That's one thing he's always done, especially when they won a championship with Boston. He's good with distributing the ball to other people. He can run the offense with, you know what I mean, with the weapons around him. I didn't see him do it. He did it with the Pelicans last year. They didn't go all the way far, but they did enough where when they had Cousins and they had AD and Holiday and all of them, he did real good with distributing the ball and only picking and taking his shots when need be. But he's not a high volume type scorer, you know what I mean, anymore. But he can facilitate a good offense. And I think that might be a good point for the Lakers to look at if they can't get Russell, to go ahead and bring Rondo back and let that veteran leadership go ahead and just put him in the point guard position where he can run the offense. But at times we know LeBron to be the one to handle the ball too, though. So you have options. So that might be a good thing for the Lakers to look at, which they probably have already discussed, because it makes sense to me for them to do that. You know, oh my goodness. Yeah, boy, everybody is ready. They're tired of these rumors. They're tired of what could happen, what they've heard happen. We're ready to see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? For the incoming 2019-20 NBA season. We just had the draft. To me, this was a beautiful draft, as far as it seemed like there was a couple of players that teams reached for. But all in all, I think they all were fits to those teams as far as the system that they're running. A lot of good picks. I like what the Pelicans did, them grabbing Zion and then also making the trade with getting Ball and Ingram and them into the Pelicans. That's a nice little young team, and Ball being a distributor as well, for him to have weapons like he got with the first pick, and then the Pelicans traded the 4th overall pick that the Lakers gave to them for Anthony Davis. They traded with Atlanta to get 2 more first round picks, which they brought in a power forward, an athletic power forward. So I can see a lot of alley-oops jumping off. A lot of good exciting basketball with the Pelicans is on the way. It's going to be the worth of admission to go ahead and see these young dudes high-flying, and you know what I mean? That's what they're building. They're building excitement, and then eventually, as soon as these dudes develop their chemistry, that they'll become a contender down the line. Because we know that the torch, as far as the elite teams that's out there now, the torch is on the way to the next younger teams below, or the next ones in line. Because yeah, it's going to happen. It always happens. It's the cycle of life in basketball. You have a dynasty, and then you only got to me, about a 5-year window when you're on top. But then, all these other teams are making moves to catch up and pass you, where you just try to just sustain what you already have. So that's what happens. Also, another deal that has been agreed to, we got Mike Conley being sent to the Utah Jazz from the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's a good move too. Conley's always been a good point guard. I always liked him coming out of Ohio State with Greg Oden. But yeah, this dude developed and he's a real solid point guard, good leader. That's a good situation for him to go to with Utah, with him and Donovan and so forth. So I look forward to that too.
You want sports? We got it right here. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast.
The Denver Nuggets, who went toe-to-toe with the Blazers last year in the second round of the playoffs, going 7 games. They've added Bobo from Oregon, which is a 7'2". I wouldn't necessarily call him a center. A lot of people want to attach the label of positions due to your height, but nowadays with the way the NBA is and the athleticism and the different skill sets these players have, you can't really do that. To me, Bobo would be a good stretch 4. He can shoot. For him to be 7'2", he might want to add a little bit more, mass to his body. He's a little thin. He's coming off that foot injury he had with Oregon. But all in all, fundamental-wise, for him to be 7'2", he has real good hands, soft hands as far as shooting and so forth, and good rebounding and shot blocking. So that's going to be good for Denver, especially if you put him next to Jokic, whatever you want to pronounce his name, but yeah, that'll be solid to put him at the 4 and have Jokic at the center. Those are two good, real good with their hands. So that'll be the new Twin Towers, you know what I mean, of Denver. So that'll be interesting to look at too. So yeah, all in all, man, we got a lot of stuff. I'm just counting down. I'm just excited I had to do this podcast just to get this information out there and see what everybody thought, how they felt. Just put this information out in the wind because I'm gonna post this one up. You guys go ahead and check it out and go ahead and like, subscribe, share. You know what I mean? Let's grow this community of the Sports Hound, man. I'm just trying to put out information out there. There's a lot of sports fanatics out there like myself. Last night we had the UFC fight night. And Ngannou knocked out his dude where they stopped the fight, you know what I mean? And then Santos, I think it was. And then in boxing, you had Boo Boo Andrade retain his belt. Going the distance, but he basically won every round. So he's calling out GGG and Canelo. So we talk about unifying the belts, and I think that's what they need to do. I'm tired of seeing these mismatch matchups of these boxers with titles fighting these lesser dudes that shouldn't even be in the upper echelon of the contenders. They're not there yet. You know what I mean? So let's start putting these good fights together. Stop trying to protect your boxer from taking losses, you know what I mean, from good fighters because you're looking for a payday elsewhere with another boxer. Let's get down to it. Let's get the best against the best. Put them in a ring, unfold it. Let us see what happens. You know what I mean? Who's going to be undisputed? Let's see who's going to unify and all this other stuff, man. Especially with the heavyweights. I want to see this too. It's too many politics and financial stuff going in between of everything. But we just want to see good stuff, y'all. We just want to see good basketball seasons. We got football season coming up. I look forward to next weekend with the 2019 NBA Summer League in Vegas. See these rookies and these 2 years and so forth, players out there playing and doing their thing. I want to see these rookies, man. I'm intrigued with these rookies. It was a lot of good rookies to me in this draft this year. So I want to see how they perform against each other. So I look forward to that. Like I said, we got the Oakland Raiders are on HBO Hard Knocks this season starting in August. So that's something to keep your eye on because you got a lot of stuff going on with that team with different additions, different personalities. We get to see behind the scene of the Shield. So you get to see everything that goes on with that silver and black. We got the women's soccer in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. They took down France Friday. So I'm looking forward to them to doing their thing because they've been out there just hustling, boy. That's a nice team to, sit there and watch, especially with Morgan out there doing her thing. So I salute the United States women's soccer team for going out there and handling their business, and let's see if we can bring in that World Cup. Baseball you got going on. You have the Yankees in Boston yesterday, just lighting up the scoreboard. I think it was 17-13 Yankees. I mean, how exciting is that? When you get a 17-13 score in baseball against two arch rivals, nothing better than that, man. We there's a lot of stuff going on, y'all. So pay attention. Give y'all heads up. The Sports Hound, I'll be moving everything to Las Vegas. To me, that is the sports capital because they got boxing, they got UFC, they're dealing with hockey, with the Golden Knights, you got the WNBA, the Raiders are coming next season. Man, there's just so much stuff going on out in Vegas, man. I want to be around it. I want to bring you guys the news. I want to bring interviews with these athletes and so forth. Give y'all a full scoop of what's going on. I'm going to have videos coming. We're going to do a full-scale production on a lot of stuff on this sports level. So keep your ears open. This is the Real Sports Bark, brought to you by the Sports Hound. Y'all can check us out online, www.thesportshound.com. Go ahead and sign up, leave your name, your email, stay in touch, drop questions. We'll hit you guys all up. Follow us on Facebook, follow us up on Twitter, follow us up on Instagram, man. We're bringing it to you raw and uncut. This is the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast. It's yours truly, Tixter, and I'm out.
Thanks for checking out the Sports Hounds Real Sports Bark Podcast. For more exclusive content, follow us on all social media. Twitter, SportsHound 24/7. Instagram, SportsHound Media. Facebook, SportsHound Media. And on the website at thesportshound.com. And tell your damn friends about the hottest sports podcast on the web.